welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Scent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 5, I think. You think it's 6?
I think it's 6.
I'm probably right. Anyway. We're going to talk briefly about Nicole and Chris and where they are so far and where we think they're going left. So I think the last time that we reviewed them, we were pretty positive on them because they were doing a lot of sharing. They seemed to relate to one another, and they both, for whatever reason, at least in my opinion, seemed very desperate to be in love or, in a good relationship.
Yeah.
For having experienced several bad ones in their past. And neither of them seem to be like rubbing the other the wrong way. They seem to be each other's pace. Now, they're not seeming like that so much to us anymore. They have had a couple, since they're having such open conversations, they've had a chance to have a couple of conversations where I think significant conflicts could arise.
Yeah.
For one, obviously, the children conversation is a big one. Nicole says she never really gave much consideration into having children. And it seems like she's trying not to say the wrong thing. Like she doesn't want to say it's an absolute no. But she seems pretty disinterested in having children. It doesn't, it's not really weighing on her very heavily one way or another. She did mention, that she would have a concern about waiting so long that they miss an opportunity to have children. But it didn't really seem to bother her that much. It's kind of like if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. It's whatever. And Chris seemed pretty confident in his desire to have at least 2 children.
Yeah.
So where do they come to a meeting on the minds of that? That's a huge point for most couples. So I could see that being a conflict. What I don't want to have happen is for her to want this relationship so bad that she tells him anything, but then they stay together and she's not willing to have a baby. That would be really awful for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the potential conflict of when they have an argument and she may fly off the handle and not be mindful of how she's speaking to him, and that was a concern of his. Yeah, about which men want to be respected, and so even if it's his fault, it's your husband, so still respect him. And so and so that was definitely a concern. But
he tried to set the tone for that.
He did. He spoke right up, by which it was a little bit of a surprise for me because he self-proclaimed nice guy. And so to me, when I hear like nice guy, a lot of times I hear someone who's unwilling or incapable of basically saying, of standing their ground and saying, hey, this is my boundary and don't step over it. But no, he voiced it really quickly. Yeah. I'm not going to allow you or stand for you disrespecting me. So that was a shocker for me.
Now, what I think about that, for one, I don't equate nice guy to pushover. I don't. However, I think Chris is a pushover.
You think so? Even after he was just
I do. I think he's been a pushover in the past. I think he knows he's been a pushover in the past. And I think that one thing that people who have experienced bad things in relationships before will do is try to preemptively speak against it. Say what they're not going to take, what they're not going to do, hoping that the other person will hear that, acknowledge it, and not put that to the test. We've probably all had girlfriends of ours who, try to set the tone in any number of things. Like, I'm not going to tolerate being cheated on. I'm not going to tolerate somebody staying out all night. Or I'm not going to tolerate, I don't know, you pressuring me to have sex too soon. And then they do it all. You know what I mean? They take it all. So what they've said, it doesn't really hold any weight. It's just something they were trying to put out in the atmosphere, hoping that this man would respect it. And I feel like that's what Chris, the pushover, is doing. He's like, I don't want to get run over again. Let me tell her I won't take this, and hopefully she won't do it to me. Now,
all right. Well,
I think she won't, though. I don't think that she's going to want to try to run him over.
Yeah.
So it might work in their case.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that. Maybe you're right. He sold it to me. So.
That's just my theory. I can't see him really. I see him as a pushover.
I don't know. Bring out the acting skills. He needs to be up there with Tom Cruise and the rest of them. Like, he sold me.
All he did was say it. I mean,
it's not how he said it though. He was just like, "Oh no, don't play me like that." You know, it's just like one of them type numbers. I was like, "Oh, okay, this dude got some backbone." So
my other issue with them is just Nicole. Mm-hmm. It's just who she is. She's very needy.
You don't love me?
Oh my God. She's very, I don't know. I hate to keep using the word desperate, but she screams desperation to me for some sort of nice guy, some sort of person who's not going to run her over. She seems like she's been used and abused, and she hasn't known how to stand up for herself as well in relationships. And she is desperate to get to that point of love. You know, we've seen this before with Stasha and Nate from last season. And in her, it reads so much more desperate even than I felt like it did for the two of them.
Yeah.
Because here we see in the second preview, her saying to him again, I think it's coming up in next week's episode, do you love me? And I'm like, girl, don't ask him that again. She already asked him, I don't know if it was in this episode or last, like, do you love me yet? He's honestly answered, no. I was glad he didn't feel pressured into saying something that wasn't true.
Yeah. And
it looks like in the preview, he was saying no again. So why do you want to put yourself in this position it's just a bad all the way around. Like, you're putting yourself in a position to have your feelings hurt or potentially to be lied to. And you're backing him into a corner where he feels like he has to hurt your feelings or lie to you if he doesn't love you yet, which he's known you for less than a week. So why would he love you? But then not only does it do those two things, it also puts pressure on him to say, okay, if I don't say I love her within the next whatever, fill in time frame there, you know, within the next week or 2 weeks or by the halfway point in this thing, where is this going to leave our relationship?
Yeah.
So she's really not doing them any favors by continually asking that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think she has definitely been through some really bad relationships. And you and I discussed in one of our previous videos about this couple, particularly her, that she really needed to get some type of counseling, some type of therapy. Come on. One of our previous boyfriends put a cigarette out on her. I mean, how...
Do the experts not hear these stories? I don't know. I feel like they don't get these, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do and they just don't care. I'm not really sure. But I think if these stories are being shared with the experts, I would think that it would be in everybody's best interest for them to be like, oh, you know what, maybe you're not ready for this process yet.
Exactly.
You know, we can refer you to some therapists in your area that may be able to help you work this out, because she definitely has some issues that I think is lending themselves to her being so desperate and needy for like him to cling hold of her.
Yeah.
She can't stop touching him. He even said to the guys, you know, she holds hands a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. And because they're new, because he wants this as well, it's not something that he's complaining about.
No.
But there's a lot of people who would be like, all right, I can't take that. That's just too much.
Yeah.
And she would already feel rejected because he's like, you're holding my hands too much.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she needs that comfort. You know, she needs
constant reassurance,
and that's gonna wear somebody out
mm-hmm.
over a time span. And so, again, I really wish and I really hope that she has gone through some type of counseling. It does not seem like she has, or to the extent to where
I don't know how much improvement she's made.
You know, adjusted to the point that she should be on this show.
That's true. I agree with you there. So we'll see. I don't know what to think. I was pretty positive on them last time. They haven't done anything or said anything yet that made me think they won't say yes at decision day. I just feel like personally worn out by Nicole already. So I can't imagine that a man wouldn't be.
Yeah, it would wear out. It would wear out pretty quickly. I will say this, out of all of the other couples that they have this season,
mm-hmm.
they're the only couple that's really having some meaningful conversations, though.
Yeah.
Everyone else is very surface level or physical level. Anything that's not really pertaining to where are we going and building the foundation of a healthy relationship. I mean, they're talking about past relationships. They're talking about what they did and what they didn't do. They are really having some real conversations, I think, that could pay some really good positive dividends.
But they may be high on that list of, you know, people who need more counseling and more help, too. So they're having their important conversations. But I also feel like they're very damaged, too. So, you know, can they overcome that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But communication is key, so we'll see. I'll stay positive on them for right now. But Nicole, girl, you wear me out. Stop asking that. And stop doing that. So, let us know what you guys think about this couple at this point. Drop those comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.